of your squirt from the edge of the table to the furthest landing point of the milk, and both of our competitors have chosen 2% milk. Why? Because they claim it squirts the best. And who's going to argue with the champion? Mike, you are the champ. We'll let you begin first. Mike Morale. Knocks on wood for good luck. The intensity of a champion. Cheers to the challenger. Concentrating, focusing. There it is, the squirt. Wow, wow. Yes, yes, yes.
We have 6 feet and 6 1/4 inches.
6 feet, 6 1/4 inches. Nice job. Mike, take me through this replay.
Okay, the milk, it felt good coming out. I got a nice steady flow.
Now, I noticed you blinked in the middle of the squirt.
Yeah, I was blinking at Jim. It started to sputter, but I got it back right there, and that, I think, did it.
But Jim, the moment's at hand. Millions of people are watching. Kristen is here at ringside. You get to squirt for a new Guinness record. The distance you have to beat is 6 feet, 6 1/4 inches. Are you ready to squirt?
Ready as I ever be, Mark.
All right, Jim. Good luck.
لإعلاناتكم على إنفينيتي يمكنكم الاتصال على الرقم التالي 971 43 672 322 أو مراسلتنا على البريد الإلكتروني التالي marketing@infinitytv.tv.
Pluto Nash.
Pluto Nash.
It is a pleasure to meet me.
Let's get it right this time.
A pleasure to meet you, Pluto.
You married twins, huh?
No, they're not twins. I met the perfect woman and then I had a clone.
Which one's which?
Who cares?
Whoa! Why don't you take these Hillarys? We appreciate you helping us out.
Jim Cheon, the challenger, loads his nostril, filling up that cavity. Wow. Very, very close.
6 feet, 7 1/2 inches for splash round.
6 feet, 7 1/2 inches. Congratulations, Jim. That's a new Guinness record. 6 feet, 7 1/2 inches. Oh, take a look at your replay. Now, once you got the first squirt, you knew that wasn't sufficient, or what were you trying to do here?
Just trying to concentrate and focus and trying to get a steady stream flowing out your eye.
It's funny because your first squirt seemed to sort of taper off. It was not a power squirt. But then you really got a hold of it in this next one. Look at it come pumping out of there. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
Jim has just scored a distance of 6 feet, 7.5 inches. It beats Mike's old record by 1.25 inches. It makes you the new Guinness World Record champion, holding the furthest distance on an on-squirt record. Mike Morale and Jim Cheon. Last Guinness champion, current Guinness champion.
If you think you have a record-setting squirt in you, let us know. Stay with us.
Still ahead, a Guinness exclusive, 3 miles above the earth.
There were 6 of us that became tangled up in what I call a ball of death.
Can 56 skydivers connect in midair, creating the world's largest canopy formation? And for most, it was a nightmare. But for this man, it's lunch. See how eating 3 live scorpions a day put him in the record book. Also, it's the incredible story of 2 twin brothers joined at the hip. Ronnie and Donnie Gallion spent a lifetime earning their record as the world's oldest living male conjoined twins. Time now for tonight's Guinness game. According to Guinness, what is the record for the most organs transplanted into one person in a single operation? Is it A, 5, B, 6, or C, 7? The answer when Guinness Primetime returns. According to Guinness, what is the world record for the most organs transplanted into one person in a single operation? Is it A, 5, B, 6, or C, 7? The correct answer is C. Eugenia Borgos was 10 months old and nearly dead when she received the ultimate gift. 7 new organs that gave her another chance at life. Born with a rare condition that left her unable to digest food, doctors had given up hope for the little girl. But Eugenia's mother never lost faith.
I was sure that Eugenia was born to live. I don't know why, because everything was, absolutely terrible. But I was sure about this.
After a desperate search, she finally found someone who thought he could help. Dr. Andreas Tzakis, one of the world's foremost transplant surgeons. He proposed a radical solution, giving Eugenia a whole new digestive system.
There was not really another alternative at the time for Eugenia to survive.
In an extremely complicated operation, Tzakis gave Eugenia a new liver, pancreas, stomach, large and small intestine, and 2 kidneys. It took 16 straight hours of surgery.
They are pretty intense procedures because you can really relax a bit until everything is complete. There are no simple parts really in this operation.
The greatest danger was that the little girl's body would reject the new organs. But today, a year and a half into her new life, Eugenia has made a remarkable recovery.
She has normal life with friends, with animals around. She's really free baby and happy baby. This is the miracle, I think.
Some of the most amazing Guinness records happen high in the sky, a perfect setting for man's insatiable desire to push the envelope of human achievement. Such was the case for 53 skydivers who attempted to do the impossible. Tonight, from Kassel, Germany, an international team of thrill seekers will purposely entangle themselves in each other's parachutes in an attempt to set a new record for canopy stacking.
Oh yeah, this is good.
canopy stacking violates every rule of common sense in the sky.
I'm cutting away. Let go.
Instead of staying clear, skydivers fly directly at each other, with each jumper hooking his or her legs into the parachutes directly beneath their feet until they form an interlocking human huddle.
We're having fun now.
The organizer is Mike Lewis, age 44, married from Tampa, Florida. He hopes to set a world record by choreographing 56 jumpers into one formation. And if they can hold the formation for 5 seconds, they will enter the Guinness Book. There are multiple ways for a stacking attempt to go dangerously wrong. Human error can cause a deadly collision, equipment may fail, and the natural force of wind shear is an unpredictable killer.
I was on a jump several years ago where an 8-way formation collapsed, and there were 6 of us that became tangled up in what I call a ball of death. We're all tangled up with parachutes and lines, and there's no open parachutes.
Oh my God.
We plummeted for a total of 5,000 feet before everyone was able to get out of the situation.
Come on, get out of that one. Yes, yes, reserve opening. Yes, reserve right.
In 1994, it was a wind shear that hit the left side of this 36-person formation and created a crack-the-whip effect all the way across to its right side, sending Alan Gutschall and Nazar Buzzier plummeting toward Earth, wrapped in a silk sheet of death. Watching helplessly, the cameraman continues to film as Nazar is able to cut away, deploying his chute just in time for a safe landing. But Alan is now tangled in 2 sets of chute lines. Watch as a violent act of centrifugal force becomes a lifesaver.
I had a loop around my ankle that was twisting up like a rubber band. I was spinning so fast that I was able to pull the lines apart and flip over backwards, get my ankle out. Clean air now, I have no canopies, no lines on me, and I could dump my reserve and land neatly and sweetly.
These British stackers were not so lucky. 100 feet from the ground and too low to open his reserve, skydiver Chris Claridge was killed by the fall. This man survived.
A lot of times in an emergency situation, it flashes into your mind, I'm going to die. And that's where some people lose it, and they just stay focused on that thought, and they stop skydiving. And it's always been my philosophy, I'm going to keep skydiving until the situation's solved. I'm going to keep working on the situation. Pay attention to who's next to you, who's above you.
Like Mike Lewis, Nazar Buzzier, and Alan Gutschall have overcome any fear generated by their near-death experience. They've signed on with Mike in Kassel, Germany to build a 56-person formation, the largest ever attempted. On this day in Kassel, Germany, 3 large planes are being packed nose to tail with an army of jumpers. To create a 56-man stack, 36 jumpers exit the lead plane and form a core diamond. The core alone is already as big as the 1994 record attempt that nearly killed Alan Gutschall and Nazar Buzzier. Each team member has an assigned spot, but canopy stacking rules allow them to switch places if necessary. The clock won't start until the last stacker is in place. It looks like they have it, but just as they link up, a wind shear destroys the right side.
Break it down, folks. Okay, let's break it down.
They only held the formation for 2.3 seconds, not long enough for a Guinness record.
It's a real emotional roller coaster when you build the world's largest formation and then find out that you didn't hold it long enough and you don't have a record.
After analyzing the weaknesses in the 56-person formation, Mike Lewis decides that reducing the number of jumpers is the only way to achieve success. Once again, the core forms up. The wingmen take their places. The colossal tower is complete. It's as tall as an 18-story building. 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. They held the formation for 6 seconds. It appears to be a new record.
There was a lot of screaming and hooting and hollering in the air. As we were flying back to the airport, everyone was kicking and waving at each other. It was a party in the sky.
A review by the judges on the ground makes it official. This 53-person canopy stack is a new world record. Separation takes as much skill as the formation itself. And they're peeling off perfectly.
Yeah, it hit the ground. Woo! Lots of shouting.
Yeah, all right. That's excellent, excellent job, man.
I can't remember a better feeling.
Congratulations, one and all. That was a thing of beauty. We'll be right back.
Coming up from El Salvador, truly one of the most shocking Guinness records. See how eating 3 live scorpions a day not only kept the doctor away, but put this man in the record book. And they're the world's oldest living male conjoined twins. Hear the incredible story of Ronnie and Donnie Gallion and how they spent a lifetime earning their record.
Welcome back. On a recent broadcast, we told you about a restaurant in China where the only thing on the menu was something most people in this country would run away from: rat. The restaurant is called Jialu, and it has earned the Guinness record for the most rats served. Tonight, we turn to El Salvador to bring you another Guinness record for eating animals. And the key is to bite it before it bites you. The scorpion is one of the most feared creatures on Earth. The combination of spiny legs, snapping pincers, and stinger-tipped tail is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. However, few realize that these reclusive creatures are actually record holders in their own right. Scorpions have the highest tolerance for heat of any land animal, able to withstand blistering temperatures in excess of 159 degrees Fahrenheit. They are also the animal with the slowest metabolism, which means they can go for up to a year without eating. And scorpions rank as the 3rd deadliest venomous animal on Earth, right behind bees and snakes. Because it's venomous, the scorpion has few natural predators. They include mongooses, geckos, and this man. His name is Rene Alvarenga. He's a 53-year-old field worker from Intipuca, El Salvador in Central America. The locals call him El Come Alacrances. Translation, the scorpion eater. That's right, Rene eats scorpions, live scorpions.
It happened one time when one of those animals stung me all over. And I said, this animal's going to kill me. So I had to eat it.
On the average, Rene eats 3 live scorpions every day and has been at it for over 35 years. Do the math, and that means he's gobbled down more than 38,000 of the venomous creatures. This distinction has earned Rene a Guinness record for the most live scorpions eaten by a human being. The scorpions Rene eats, black scorpions, are not usually deadly, but their stingers deliver a potent dose of neurotoxin, much more painful than the worst bee sting. This doesn't seem to faze Rene. He says these squirming morsels taste just like freshwater shrimp. Several years ago, he consumed 22 of the leggy arthropods as co-workers watched in horror. These days, 3 a day seems to satisfy his unconventional craving. And if you're wondering about that stinger, you can see it here repeatedly stabbing Rene on the upper lip. Perhaps most amazing of all, Rene says the venom doesn't even affect him. Proof positive that one man's meat is another man's poison. Do I really need to tell you not to try that at home? I didn't think so. We'll be right back.
Still to come, a Guinness profile, joined at the hip It's the incredible story of Ronnie and Donnie Gallion, the world's oldest living male conjoined twins. And two-time Olympic gold medalist Justin Jewish attempts to hit the Guinness bullseye. But is he warmed up and ready to go?
I'm ready now.
डांसिंग मतलब फन, मस्ती, धमाल, रॉकिंग मैन। ऐसे नहीं है।
अब इनको बच्चे कैसे होंगे? क्यों क्यों? अरे क्योंकि इसने मेन पॉइंट तोड़ दिया।
समीर, तुम मेरे अगले फिल्म में हीरो। 5, 6, 7, 8। ये एक डांस फिल्म है। So you'll be perfect.
Feel the music.
When I say archery, what names come to mind? William Tell, Robin Hood, Justin Hewish? Justin Hewish? He's in our studio with Mark Thompson.
I'm here with Justin Hewish. In Atlanta, you won the gold medal for accuracy and distance in archery. It was 76.5 yards, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was actually 70 meters, but in yards, it's 76.6.
What's the difference between that 76.5 yards that you hit for the gold medal, you were shooting from that distance, or the 25 yards that we're going to add now in your attempt to set a Guinness record of 101 yards?
There's a lot of difference. When you make a mistake back here at the bow, and say it's only a 32nd of an inch, when you hit 76 yards, it's only this far out. But at 101 yards, you're this far out. So any error that you make will magnify the farther you're back. So it makes it very hard.
Now, is that a souped-up bow and arrow? It looks to me like it's not a normal one.
It actually isn't souped up. It's pretty primitive in terms of Olympic rules. There's a lot more gadgets and stuff you can put on these. But this is pretty much like what Robin Hood shot, but with a 90s twist. It's a lot of machine aluminum and carbon fibers that make up the bow.
What is this big thing on here? This is just for balance, or?
Yeah, these are stabilizers, and what they do is they help to keep you still when the bow's out there. It's an 8-pound mass you're holding out there, and just kind of keeps you still. Also, when you let go of the arrow, these arrows are very light, so there's an enormous amount of energy that needs to dissipate out of the bow, and the energy will go down the stabilizers and eventually end at the end to these little shock absorber things on the end, and that takes out the energy. So when I let go of the bow, I'm not getting vibrated. It's just dead calm.
You're going to need a lot more room than we have in our studio, so we're going to go outdoors. And the target you're going to be using is an Olympic-sized target, right? 5 inches, but the whole target is 4x4?
Yes, it is.
And the Guinness judges have pre-measured the distance from the target. It's exactly
101 yards.
Now, we are all the way out. As you can see, we're leaving the studio area. There's a little breeze blowing. You mentioned to me, how much do these things weigh, the arrows you'll be firing?
They're not that much. They're about a quarter of a pound. But the wind definitely will have some variance on me because I'm holding an 8-pound bow up here. And so any kind of wind will blow me off target, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So the breeze would more affect you than it would the arrows themselves?
Yeah, because we're shooting down here between buildings, so it's going to have more effect on my arm because the bow acts as if like a sail in the front of my arm.
There you are, Justin Hewish. I don't know if you can tell when you look at it on television, but this really is, as you said, Justin, like trying to hit something the size of a grapefruit on the opposite goal line of a football field. It's 101 yards all the way down there. Mark Young, with the Guinness judging panel, is going to step in to just give you an idea of how far away we are. I can't even see his hand in the center of that target, that 5-inch target. But you can pull that out with the naked eye?
I'm hoping to.
All right. The breeze is blowing. It's a bright sun. You feel okay?
I feel fine.
All right. Justin Hewish, his first attempt for a Guinness World Record. It's difficult to get across on television just how far Justin has to shoot in order to hit the bullseye, but in addition to the distance, he'll also have to deal with some other problems. His eye will have to adjust to the target, which is placed just inside the darkened studio. In order to hit a bullseye, Justin's going to have to arc his shot perfectly to just clear the studio door, and the security camera is mounted just above it. One has to think, first of all, that the wind blowing above him, where the arrow is traveling some 30 feet up, is at a different velocity than where he's standing. So he has to account for that and, in a sense, anticipate it.
Outer red, 7 o'clock.
Now it's in the red area, 7 o'clock. Tell me what adjustments you'll make as a result of that.
I'm going to aim a little bit high right.
So Justin is going to try to adjust his aim this time. In our replay, we can see that he did have enough arc to clear the studio door, and he did have the right distance. Now he's going to have to make a slight change in his aim. Let's see what happens. So higher, but same spot, right?
Yeah, now I'm going to make an adjustment on my sight here.
What are you lining up through that sight when you're standing 101 yards away? I mean,
I'm putting my sight right on the bullseye and just hoping that I can get it on and let it rip just in time to hit the 10 ring.
Keep in mind once again that in addition to the long distance involved in attempting this Guinness record and the arc of the arrow that is needed to hit the target, Justin will also have to contend with the wind that is starting to kick up around here, making it even harder for him to steady his bow in attempting this record. You may be asking if it's an interruption to Justin for me to be talking to him, but he said it was all right, and that in competition worldwide, he'll have fans as close as a couple of feet making noise and screaming. Justin, with repeated attempts here, I would think it takes something of a physical strain on you, a physical toll.
Yeah, the first couple of shots are definitely easier, and as you shoot more and more, you are getting more tired and fatigued. So the last few shots, hopefully I don't get that far. Okay. I'm going to get it right now, but yeah, they do take a toll on you.
It takes 2 seconds for that arrow to travel from his bow to the target. It's moving at about 136 miles an hour. Tape replay of that. This is slow motion. You said that would be the one. The last 2 attempts before this were actually further off center. Take us through this. What were you trying to do?
I was just trying to aim high right and hear for the wind, and I could hear the palm trees moving quite a bit, so I decided to aim a little bit higher and nailed it right on the X.
Wow. Congratulations. Setting a Guinness record is Justin Lewis on this day for both distance and accuracy. Justin Lewis, everybody.
What a shot that was, and yet another Guinness record. We'll be right back.
Still to come, Ronnie and Donnie Gallion spent a lifetime joined at the hip. You'll see how they earned their record as the world's oldest living male conjoined twins. But first, another question from the pages of Guinness. According to Guinness, how old is the oldest cat that ever lived? Is it A, 34 years old, B, 33 years old, or C, 32 years old? The correct answer when Guinness Primetime returns. How old is the oldest cat that ever lived? Is it A, 34 years old, B, 33 years old, or C, 32 years old? The correct answer is A, 34 years old. His name fittingly was Grandpa, and when he was born in 1964, LBJ was president. The Beverly Hillbillies was the #1 TV show.
And the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand was the country's #1 song. Jake Perry of Austin, Texas was Grandpa's owner. Grandpa was a Rex Sphinx, a distinctive and nearly hairless breed of cat. But it was age that set him apart and made him a cat world hero. What does Jake attribute Grandpa's longevity to?
The love, the care, and the checkups, and the food.
The food? Now, wait a minute. Here's what Grandpa ate every morning of his life for breakfast, along with a cup of Folgers coffee, regular please, not decaf.
Bacon, eggs, broccoli, and mayonnaise.
Now, it is true in his later years, Jake switched Grandpa to egg beaters and fake bacon. They lived in this modest house with Jake's wife and about 20 other cats. But only Grandpa liked to venture out on Jake's daily rounds.
He liked to ride in the truck. And he would like to see the green lights, cars, sceneries.
When Grandpa finally died this April, he was 34, or 238 in cat years. Jake gave Grandpa a burial with full honors. First came a memorial service, complete with funeral music, in which Jake's other cats paid their respects. He was then laid out in a kitty casket and buried in Jake's backyard with a headstone and all.
I miss him real bad, and it hurts.
But don't feel too sorry for Jake just yet. First of all, he has a hairless kitten named Cowboy, who is Grandpa's great-great-grandson, and has already shown the same dietary tastes.
Cowboy is beginning to eat what Grandpa ate, and beginning to lap a little coffee, long as the cream is poured in.
And Jake has another cat who has a shot at breaking Grandpa's record. Her name is Cream Puff, and according to Jake, she just turned 29 years young.
Here's just a sample of what you'll see on Guinness World Records prime time in the weeks to come.
Mark Hogg set a record that people are still talking about. Now Mark has his hands full in a Guinness challenge that you won't believe. 2 men and a woman take on the Worm Man in the Super Bowl of worm eating. Plus, Stevie Starr is the only man on the planet known as the human regurgitator. Wait till you see what Stevie coughs up for a new record. And from the Guinness Medical Files, a life-saving record from the emergency room. Doctors saw it, were shocked by it, and you'll never forget it. It's the very graphic story of Michael Hill and the knife that almost took his life. Coming up next, Ronnie and Donnie Gallion spent a lifetime earning their record. It's the incredible story of the world's oldest living male conjoined twins.
Welcome back. For most of their adult lives, the 2 people you're about to meet have dreamed of being in the Guinness Book of Records. Tonight, that dream comes true for 47-year-old Donnie and Ronnie Gallion of Dayton, Ohio. Ronnie and Donnie Gallion have a lot in common. They share the same birthday.
Born October 20th, 1951.
The same foods.
Beef fried rice.
And they root for the same football team.
Dallas Cowboys.
So why are they in the Guinness Book of World Records? Ronnie and Donnie are the world's oldest living male conjoined twins. Ronnie and Donnie Gallion, age 47, born Dayton, Ohio. Height 5 feet 8 inches tall and 5 feet 5 inches tall. Combined weight 320 pounds. Amazingly, despite the fact that they have spent every moment of their lives literally joined at the hip, Ronnie and Donnie Gallion are 2 very different people, from their temperaments to their politics.
What's one of a Republican and a Democrat? I'm good-natured, my brother's temperamental sometimes. I'd rather do laundry than make the bed. My brother's born head first, I was born feet first.
Back in 1951, it was deemed too dangerous to separate them at birth.
Ronnie and Donnie are Ischiopagus tetrapus, or in other words, conjoined twins that are joined lower pelvis facing each other and have 4 legs.
I'll give Ronnie a hand.
Dr. Quiot has been treating them since 1991 and will never forget the first time he laid eyes on them.
I think it was initially just awe. It's something that I'd never seen before, really never had even heard of before in medical school. It seems like there were arms and legs everywhere.
They're more comfortable sitting on the floor than on furniture. Ronnie, who's a little bigger, has spent his life often carrying his little brother around. It has caused a curvature in his spine, and he had to undergo surgery for a hernia. Unlike most conjoined twins, which share major organs, Ronnie and Donnie have most of their own.
They have separate hearts, separate pair of lungs, separate kidneys, separate livers and spleens. And you can see here the single descending colon right there where both Ronnie and Donnie's colons have fused into one, and then that will empty out into a single rectum and a single male genital. They are a rarity. I mean, they really are 1 in a million.
A fact their father realized as well. When the boys were just 4 years old, he reluctantly put them in a circus sideshow to help support the 9 children in the family. It was a decision that landed their dad in jail and divided the family, as the youngest child, Jim Gallion, recalls.
How would you like it if I walked up and laughed at your 2 sisters or 2 brothers, just stood right there in front of you and just laughed my head off because they were funny looking? You wouldn't like that. Likewise, you know, we don't care for that either.
Despite the reactions, their father defended his decision in this rare interview.
Ronnie, the big one, has always been a good-natured kid, but Donnie, the little one, he's temperamental. Usually he wins his way. And we had him home for 2 years and always said we never put him on exhibition. We always said we would never do it, but we were constantly hounded to death people wanting to see them, regardless of where they go or what to do, they're on exhibition. This way they get something from it.
And what they got from it was fame and a small fortune. They spent more than 35 years performing in the circus.
We did a magic act, make a girl disappear, hit baseballs to kids, soccer balls, beach balls.
Today, at age 47, they are retired from the circus and they own a home which they bought for cash. They live alone, caring for themselves. Yet simple everyday chores take on a huge significance when you have to do them as a team.
We take turns doing what the other two wants to do. I like doing the dishes sometimes. He's better doing dishes than I am.
They share a queen-size bed, and although they may not want to go to bed at the same time, Ronnie usually gets his way.
On Monday night, if I want to watch wrestling, I do the dishes. She's the director.
But what if Donnie doesn't want to watch the same show as his brother? Well, he doesn't have to. They own 2 televisions so they can enjoy their favorite shows at the same time. Although the twins are self-sufficient, their younger brother Jim often drops by to visit with them.
I love them to death. I mean, when I was a little guy, they used to saddle me up, if you would, ride them, straddle where they're joined at, and they'd carry me around a little bit. They even carried my kids like that.
Pretty neat. Instead of having just 1 uncle, they're 2 in 1.
But twice as much fun. Try stopping this dynamic duo on the basketball court.
Okay, twin.
Great shooters, and they, of course, draw their inspiration from 2 different NBA stars.
I like Michael Jordan. He likes Shaq.
So what do they do when the Chicago Bulls play the Los Angeles Lakers?
Pray that the Bulls lose. Michael Jordan.
One thing they do agree on is a passion for collecting sports memorabilia. Brother Jim often takes them to the mall so they can indulge themselves. But going out in public comes with a price.
They've made a living being looked at their whole life. And they know that no matter where they go at any given time, somebody's going to be gawking at them or going to have to come up and approach them and say, hey, guys, I've never met Siamese twins before.
You have like something like a purse like that up there?
They take it all in stride. If somebody gets nice with them, you know, they'll spend a few minutes talking with them, or if, you know, people are belligerent, nasty, then they don't even address them. They just go their way. They can be characters. They are very, very kind-hearted, very soft-hearted. They like to joke and kid. I mean, there's not a time when we're not together that we're not riding one another on something.
Despite their differences, Ronnie and Donnie are truly one at heart. And although medical advances now make it possible for them to be separated, they choose not to.
I'll say for both of us, we do not want to be separated. Like we told our brother, no surgical knives.
If Donnie and I were separated today, it would not be a good thing because of mentally they've been joined for 47 years, and that would be like cutting your own body in half, basically. Very proud of my brothers. They've accomplished a lot in life.
And Ronnie and Donnie consider their greatest accomplishment to be earning a place in the Guinness Book of Records as the oldest living male conjoined twins.
We're ecstatic. We waited hundreds of years for this, and I tell you, I could jump for joy. High five and praise the Lord.
Two brothers and one amazing record.
If you want to break or set a record here on Guinness Primetime, we want to hear from you. So drop us a line to Guinness Primetime, P.O. Box 4361, Hollywood, California 90028. Or give us a call at 1-888-751-8088. Or visit our website at www.guinnessrecords.com.
That's our record-setting show for this evening. On behalf of Mark Thompson and everyone here at Guinness Prime Time, I'm Chris Collinsworth.